Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
I want you, Captain America, to help me rebuild the Avengers.
The Avengers?
Yes, sir.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
When I became president, first thing I asked was about the secrets. Aliens. Who killed JFK? You're the only one I really trust. I'd like to talk to you about the future.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Movie Punditry. This is Mike, and I am here with our special guest, Justin. How are you, buddy?
I am doing very well. Thank you for having me on tonight. I always enjoy coming on to this wonderful podcast and speaking with you, Mike. So thank you.
All right. So Justin and I decided we were going to have a conversation because we just got back from, a week and a half ago from New York Comic Con. And so we just wanted to kind of recap it, talk about our experiences a little bit, kind of, share some information. And then, because maybe some of you have never been to a con, maybe some of you have never been to New York Comic Con, you've got a smaller cons and you just want to know, this is the biggest fan convention in the country. It's bigger than San Diego. San Diego gets a lot of the press because they've got all the Hollywood studios and the movie stars and all that stuff out there. But in terms of actual number of people in the building, New York Comic Con is bigger than all of them, and it's not even close. Justin, you've been going for a few years. I've been going for a few years.
Yes.
So tell me your first thought of this year's New York Comic Con.
Oh, honestly, definitely one of my favorites of all time. This was probably the better, like you said, I've been going for about at least it's probably my fifth or sixth year. And this is probably definitely one of the better years of it. It was incredible, man. I think I usually go in there with a certain type of routine. And Mike, you know me personally, so you know what I usually do. But just overall, just the experience and just seeing all the different cosplays, meeting all the different artists and people, and just getting all the free stuff, all the cool, not even free stuff, the cool stuff. I give it honest a strong 9 out of 10.
Right,
Plus,
it's not just me, right? This was pretty good this year.
Yes.
We've certainly seen our up and downs, but I thought this was a pretty well populated, well done, pretty even year as far as everything goes.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It feels like, and I know there was a lot of people, but I don't know how they handle it. But it seemed like there was more space. There was more spaces to walk around, more space to do things. I feel like in previous years it was just very, very congested, very, very. Because you and I, we both go on typically on Saturday, which is the busiest day of the 4 days there. And but this year it felt, it was crowded, don't get me wrong, but it felt like there was a good amount of space, good amount the waiting. We'll talk about that. But overall, I had a lot of room just to walk around and just and breathe. And shout out to all you New York Comic Con people, all you fellow nerds, that you guys are finally getting the memo. You're putting on deodorant. This year.
Well, they were handing it out at the door.
I'm so glad. Shout out to those who are handing out deodorants at the door as well too, because it really made a difference. Previous years, that's probably one of my biggest constructive criticism I will give is just educating people that hygiene is always a win-win. And this year I felt like I probably only had one incident where I smelled somebody and they didn't smell so fresh and so clean. I even actually made a friend. I made a friend while waiting in line at the Nickelodeon section. While I was waiting in line at the Avatar portion. He literally said, I gotta stop and do this. He put his book back down, took out his deodorant, and put some on. And I told him straight right there, I said, man, you don't know how appreciative I am of you doing that. You're setting an example for so many nerds out here.
Yeah. So I was feeling, I agree with you. I felt like it was easier to get around this year than it has in past years. I don't know if it's that there were less vendors on the show floor. It kind of felt that way.
Yeah,
And like there wasn't like vendors crammed into every little corner like there have
looking
been in past
cranny.
years. And I'm wondering if maybe there were less people there on Saturday because some of the big panels and stuff were on Thursday and Friday as opposed to being on Saturday this year. So I'm wondering if maybe there were just more people there on Thursday and Friday, and some of those people didn't come on Saturday, so it was a little more breathable. But I definitely agree with you. Like I felt like the aisles felt wider. It
Yes.
it felt like you could get around, you could spend time um standing on the show floor and going to the booths and checking things out, and I wasn't getting like slammed into as often as
That
you normally
part.
do.
Heavy on that part.
What's that?
I said heavy on that part. What you used to say right there, not getting slammed and shoved into different areas. I'm so used to that at going to these cons, but didn't experience that all this time. And that was a very wonderful experience.
It did feel though that like Artist Alley maybe was a little tighter. And I don't know if because there's more artists coming. Um so kind of what space they gave up on the show floor, I think maybe Artist Alley felt a little bit jammed in there. What do you think?
Okay, Mike, may I make a confession to you?
Don't even say it. Don't say it.
I'm gonna say, Mike, I just hope you don't judge, and the people out there who attended New York Comic Con don't judge me as well. But for the past 2 years, I have not gone down to the Artist Alley.
Who are you?
I'm being so honest with you. And I know that's a big thing for you and your family. Your family,
It is. The girls really love it, and I
they,
love that
that's a
about them.
big,
So
yeah.
just so if you're not familiar with it, so I can understand. So I'll explain.
Mhm.
So this is the Jacob Javits Center, multi floors.
Yes.
The main floor is what they call the show floor, and what that is that's all the vendors. Whether it's a big vendor like Crunchyroll or
Oh my
Marvel
gosh.
or
Yes.
IDW or some of the big store Funko,
I love them all.
or just small people who just have booths, and they're selling T-shirts or they're selling keychains or
Yeah.
a lot of 3D printed stuff for the last couple of years. Probably none of it's licensed, but who cares? And so that's the show floor, and it's big. It's the biggest space in the whole con.
It really
Then
is.
downstairs, there's what's called Artist Alley, and what that is
Yes.
that's literally the artists, people who are they're illustrators, they're drawing, they're authors, they are so people are down there, they're selling their work,
Yes.
they're showing their comic book work, they're selling comic
Autographing.
books that they did, they're autographing stuff, they're doing commission work. And there's all kinds of stuff down there, and those are arranged in rows, and it seems to me like that part's been growing. So I go with my daughters, and they all three of them, and they love
They
Artist
love it.
Alley. They go down, they like that's where they're spending their money.
Yeah,
They go
that's
down
like,
there. They always buy art from people. They always spend time talking
yes.
to people, talking to the artists and things like that. And it's really fun. It's really interesting. My daughter it's funny, she bought a book for my grandson. My grandson, 8 years old, he loves dinosaurs. And so there was a guy there who had a book that was like how to draw dinosaurs. And it was like 7 or 8 different kinds of dinosaurs. And I was going to buy it. I was going to go talk to her about it. And then I found out that she bought it. So I didn't have to.
I love it.
But when she bought the book from him, he autographed the book, but not only did he autograph the book, but Shannon said like his favorite dinosaur is a Spinosaurus. So the guy like literally drew a Spinosaurus
Yes.
on the front page where he signed it, like specifically for him. And so I thought that was, that's the kind of experience that you get there. You buy a book for $20, and the guy who wrote the book, who created the book, is there, and you get to talk to him about it, and he'll customize, he'll sign it and do everything for you. So that's that kind of experience. And New York Comic Con is really about that. It's really about, like, they really focus heavily on artists and comics and things
Yeah,
like that. Not so much on, like, big media franchises and things like that. Although
they have it
they
there.
do have it, but it's not as much the focus as like San Diego is, or even MegaCon or some of the other big cons in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh
shame on
man,
you, okay? I'm just gonna say
I'm
that.
sorry. Listen, if for the record,
Next year,
everybody,
I am dragging your butt down there.
please do. I consider this to be a good problem. It's not. I didn't avoid Artist Alley because I didn't want to or not. Like, I actually enjoy Artist Alley. I enjoy it a lot. I do like. I like look at all the different. I have a problem because I do buy a lot of pictures and posters and stuff. I don't really have the space to store it. But the problem, which is a good problem, is that there's just so much to do in so little time. You mentioned the show floor. I kid you not. I'm at it now. I'm experienced where now I get it. It literally takes me the whole 6 to 8 hours just to thoroughly. I think this is one of the reasons I love this year was actually the first time I actually was able to go from one end of the shore floor all the way to the other, and I actually hit on all the things throughout it. So the short floor, they go by like the thousands. So you got things of 1,001, 1,500, and all this stuff up to 4,000, and it's a walking distance, and I was able to do it within that 8 hours. I was very proud of myself. But my solution to this, and I want to dig more into this, is that I'm literally gonna have to go more than one day next year. I think
We
you
were
and I
talking. We were talking about. Yeah, we were talking
Yes,
about the same thing. Going like Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday,
yes,
um,
yes.
and maybe stay in the city, or
Yeah, I think
stay
so.
across the river, and do something like that, and do like one day of, like, we're in it all the way, we're doing cosplay kind of thing, but like one day for the show floor, one day for Artist Alley, and
Yes.
and like the panels in the rooms, like there are
Oh,
rooms scattered all throughout
oh my
the Java
gosh.
Center, and like I never even get the chance to go to them, and it's like a lot of it's like
Like
really
what?
niche stuff, like if you're into like this particular game, or if
Yes.
you really want to learn how to like do cosplay, or you really want to learn
Yes.
how to publish, or you want to learn how to break into the business, or whatever. There's all these little seminars and classes and
Yes.
lectures and conversations and stuff going on in, like, a room with like 15, 20 people in them, that I never get to see any of that stuff, because
Yes.
it's just so much to do. So yeah, we were
So
talking
much.
about maybe we really need to break down into 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me though, Mike, and I'm speaking for people. I mean, I know I'm younger and whatnot. I don't know how you feel, but I will have to do a day like Thursday, rest on Friday, and then go
Yeah,
again on Saturday
that's a
because
possibility.
it's recovery too. It does do a lot. It takes a lot as well. But you hit on so much right there, Mike. And the fact, especially with the panels, I love the panels as well too. And I was so upset. Unfortunately, I actually skipped off of the panels this year just so I could do the short. I sacrificed a lot for the show floor this year. Um, but I really messed up because Marvel did a lot of the panels in regards to the Daredevil, which I'm very big onto right now. I love the Daredevil series. They made the announcement with Jessica Jones. This is exclusive to New York Comic Con, and the Defenders coming back there. And then they also even have one of my favorite shows of all time, Bob's Burgers. So the whole cast, I love this. This is what I love about New York Comic Con. They really do get in the stars and whatnot. They had the whole cast there at New York Comic Con, and they're rereading some of their favorite lines. They're talking, they're asking, answering questions and whatnot. And I missed all of it. But I did have I wouldn't say a negative experience. I didn't have the best experience when I did go to a panel like 2, 3 years ago. It was my favorite anime. I think you was there. You was there with me too. So I know. I'm wondering how you thought, but we saw the anime My Hero Academia.
Yeah, we did go to that panel. Yeah.
Yes, I love that anime. That anime is amazing. It's currently on its final season, you guys. Such a great anime, great manga. So, needless to say, I was very excited when they did that. When they said they did their panel at New York Comic Con, and it was covering, if I'm not mistaken, the sixth season, upcoming season. So This is the part I didn't like. They did show the sneak peek, like a little 30-second trailer of the upcoming season, which was premiering the following week. But majority of that panel is just them playing silly games amongst each other. Like the voice actors. The voice actors were there, but they were just playing games. Like, guess who does this or who knows who the best. And to me, I'm like, this is wasting my time because I got things to do at this Comic-Con. I thought you guys were gonna be talking about like spoilery type of stuff, getting really into the meat of it and whatnot. I don't know. That was just my experience of that one thing, but overall, I do like panels. I do.
Yeah.
Still...
The thing about the panels, especially if you go to like one of the big ones, is it's a big time suck. And so like for instance, I went to like every year I go to
Star Trek, right?
Star Trek. I go to Star Trek Universe. Years ago, No. Years ago, it used to be outside of Javis. You had to walk over to Madison Square Garden, and they would have it at the Hulu. But they built the fourth and fifth floor out at the Javits Center. So now there's the Empire stage and the main stage upstairs. So the main stage seats about 3,000 people. The Empire stage, which is on the fifth floor, seats 6,600 people. So it's like the size of Hall H at San Diego. The thing is like if you're going to one of those panels and one of those big rooms, like you have to go up like at least 45 minutes before the panel to get in line, even if you have a reservation.
Yeah, I get it.
So there's three levels of being in there. So there's VIP, which are the people who pay extra, right? And then there's what we are is fan verified, and there's a reservation system for that. There's like a reservation lottery, kind of thing that you do to get those panels, and then they have walk-ins. So a lot of the panel, like when we went to the My Hero Academia, we walked in because, it was in the main room, but there wasn't anywhere near 3,000 people in there. So we were able just to walk in. But like Star Trek Universe, for example, that fills.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you've got to go up there. So what they do is they have the front section, which is the VIPs. And they have a separate queue for them. And there's, it's limited. There's like a couple hundred of them. And then the main group queues up behind them. And then the walk-ins queue up out in the hallway. And then, so when they let everybody in, like 15 minutes before the panel starts, they let everybody into the room. And then what they do is like 5 minutes before the panel starts, they open the VIP area. So if the VIP area is not full, you can move up into the VIP area, which is right next to the stage, which is kind of cool. So I was because I was by myself up there, and because I went up early, I was in like the second row of like the main area. So when they dropped they dropped the rope on the VIP area, I was like, I just shot right in there.
I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah. But then the panel's an hour and a half. So, so you're like 2.5 hours of your day is spent going to like one panel if it's one of the big panels. And even if it's one of the small panels, most of the panels are at least an hour, so that's a big chunk out of your day, and you really got to kind of pick. Fortunately for me, I don't mess with like autographs and photo ops and all that stuff.
No, I don't do that either.
Because you're online, even if you have a ticket, even if you prepaid for it, like you're online for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
They give you a time slot and you got to go and you got to stand in line. So
yeah,
I'm not about all that.
By the way, you guys, if you're advice, if you're trying to go to New York Comic Con, get used to waiting in line. Like there's those type of lines, but even within like the show floor lines, there's gonna be lines, and you got to get there quick and early if you want to get like any other good stuff. But you're still gonna be waiting in line. And Mike, remember I was telling you when we was there, I said one of the new things I noticed they've been doing is that they be cutting off the line. So if the line is too big, I see it with multiple vendors, especially the big ones.
They're like, this is it. This is the end of the line.
Yeah. And then they literally will cut that line off. So you cannot.
So if an experience can say fit, 100 people or whatever, they won't let 300 people line up for it.
No.
They'll count it out there, or they have their space that the con has given them. Like, your line is here, and then at the end of that line, they're like, no, you can't wait in line. You have to wait until we reopen the line, and then they move a group through, and then they reopen the line. I thought that was really good. Because
You liked it.
in past years they'd have like these huge lines, and like you're trying to get through, and there's just like these people waiting to get into something. It's like, bro, you're not going to get in right now. Just come back later.
I mean, when you explain it like that, that really does make sense. It does. My experience is that I'll see a few people, not a lot, but some people, they were kind of being like little biased of it. Like, they're allowing certain people, like the experience that we have for us with the Nickelodeon, they actually capped it. So my sister and I, we got to the line, they said, oh, the line is capped. But then they said this, they said, oh, but if you walk around, come back. So we did that. It was so weird. And then they allow us to come in, and then they told the people like behind us, oh, you can't come in and stuff like that. It was so weird how they're doing certain things and whatnot. And I was still, but
well, it's each vendor manages their own line, so it's like, some of them are like really strict on this is the way it's going to be. Some of them are like, all right, look, I know you've been hanging out here, so here's how you're going to game it. If you go away and then come back in 5 minutes, I'll let you in, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And plus they want to test your commitment to it and whatnot. So
they sure did, because it was a big long way. It was probably maybe like a 20-minute, which I don't mind doing 20-minute waits and stuff like that. Although once again, this is a tradition for me. They always run out of the good stuff. They always run out of like the tote bags or the exclusive things. No matter how fast I rush to get to there, and that's one of my routines. The first thing I do is try to get there early so I can get to the big stuff where they are giving out like the good, like free exclusive stuff.
Right. Yeah, I see people, man, and they're like people on Reddit are like, here's my Comic-Con haul, and it's like, where'd you get all that stuff?
Yeah. You got, and that's what I'm saying. You have to really, when New York Comic-Con, this sounds crazy, but it can be so overwhelming. You really have to research, review, and have a little plan, kind of have a routine of what exactly that you want to do and what exactly what you want to see, because there's literally so much that you can see and do. It becomes completely overwhelming. Yeah. It's very overwhelming. So shout out to you, Mike, because I was telling you this before we went to NeoCon, and you told me about the Reddit. And you sent me the list of all the free stuff that all the vendors, because that's what I like to do. I like to go get the free exclusive stuff. I really do like, that's part of one of the fun things. I like to go around and just collecting like the rare cool things. And people were posting where you can get it at. So shout out to you, Mike.
Yeah, the New York the NYCC subreddit is like the best source of information on the con, especially things like when the ticket sales and everything are, and if you have any questions or whatever. Like, I forgot, I flew down up from Florida and left my badge here, and I was in a panic. And but I went on Reddit and I was like looking for, like, I searched for it, and then I'm like, I found these people who were like, yeah, this is what happens, this is what you do. If the badge isn't activated, which mine isn't, then you're gonna have to, you go to will call. You have to have pictures of the badge cut up, and like the whole badge and the badge cut up, or have somebody like standing by ready to cut it on video or something. And
really, like, cut the badge
and they just give you a new badge, right? So I texted my son who was here at the house, and I'm like, dude, I need you to do me a really weird favor, and I'm like, go find the badge. I told him where the badge was. I'm like, take a picture so you can see the number. And then he did. And then I'm like, I now cut it in half and take another picture. And he did. And so we got down there, and, so the girls went off to the green entrance. I went into will call, and I walked right up to somebody, and I told her what happened. I'm like, look, I flew in from Florida. I left my badge in Florida. It's not activated. And she's like, okay, I'm going to need a picture. You have a picture of the badge? I showed her. She goes, okay, now I'm going to need, and I already flipped my phone. I'm like, here. And she's like, oh, you know what to do. I showed her the other picture. Too funny. And she just pulled off another badge and handed it to me, like looked at my account, handed me another badge. I'm like, do I have to activate it? She's like, I just activated it for you. You're all set. I think I made it onto the show floor before the girls did.
Oh, that's amazing. That's okay.
But if it hadn't been for that Reddit, thread, I would not. I would have been in panic mode, and like trying to call them and trying to, figure out what was going on or
I
whatever.
would have had your son FaceTime you at the time and say, look, he's in Florida.
Yeah.
There's the thing. Can you just
But also like they'll have people who go like on Thursday and they'll post about like where all the freebies are. So like if you're going on Friday or Saturday, you can like, okay, I know what's somebody's giving out this, somebody's giving out this, somebody's giving out this, and you and like you're right, perfectly right, Justin. You make a plan. You go through the vendor list. You say, this is who I want to talk to. This is what I want to get. This is the stuff that I want. I'm gonna hit the gate at 10:30. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go right here. They publish a map of like where the vendors are gonna be. All right, I gotta go to 1200. I gotta get this. I gotta go to 1500. I gotta get this. And you gotta work your plan, and that's it. I'm not much into like collecting all that stuff, so because I don't like carrying it.
True, that's true.
But I've got my bag from my first cosplay, like my canvas bag from my Game of Thrones cosplay.
I love that one.
The girls call it my merce.
Your merce, a man purse. I love it.
But yeah, meanwhile, I'm carrying all their stuff, so it's fine. And that's really all I want to carry. I don't want to really carry a big bag. So
by the way, you've been killing it with your cosplays, Mike. Because you was the Hound from if I remember the first thing that you cosplayed. No.
I did the Hound. The first cosplay I did was the Hound, and Megan did like a whole makeup thing on me with like the burned face and gelatin and everything.
Yes.
I could not wait to get that off because it was like so itchy. But then I did like I've done mostly Game of Thrones stuff. I did like a Targaryen soldier one year. I did last year I did Hugh Hammer.
Yes.
And then this year I decided to switch it up. And I got a late start and I was also cheap. So I did, which was funny because I did Walter White.
You killed
like the Heisenberg. And so really all I had to do was buy the hat and a jacket. Because I had the rest, I had everything, including the beard. And I just bought some beard dye to blacken out like the goatee area because I didn't want to shave. So I just darkened that up to make it more prominent. And then put the hat on. I already got the glasses. I'm already bald. And shirt, pants, whatever. And dude, I got more response from that. Yeah. Like guys were coming up to me all day. People like Walter White, Heisenberg, Mr. White, Heisenberg.
Yes.
Like I had some like little like Asian girl, like I don't know, 20-year-old Asian girl, when her mom comes up to me, she's like, I've been trying to tell my mom how good Breaking Bad is, and I have to take your picture, and then like one guy drags me over to a booth. He's like, you got to come with me. I come over, and they were doing like at the booth, they were doing like a cosplay bingo, and they needed a W. So they're like,
oh, Walter, there you go. Yeah. So I love that. I love that happened. That happened all to you, especially at New York Comic Con.
But you get a lot of stuff too. You've been very creative with your cosplay over the years.
I appreciate it. This year I do appreciate it. I think last year was probably my most creative. I believe I went green face. And I say that meaning because I was Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z series. That did well. This year was a hot mess, Mike. I appreciate it turned out really good. It turned out good at the end, but it was a hot mess because originally I was supposed to go this anime character as Gaara of the Sand from the hit anime series Naruto. I was so excited. Also, here's a tip for everybody if you want to cosplay for New York Comic Con. First of all, I highly recommend it. It's fun. But if you cosplay, please try on your cosplay a month in advance. I did not take my own rules. I tried my cosplay on the week before. Mike,
it was a little snug.
It was a little snug. I've been getting a little bit comfortable with these.
Let's just say Mario was representing.
He was definitely representing. It was a perfect fit with that, especially with that. I tell you. So I gotta return that. I got like a few more days before I can return that Gara. So I'm getting my money back with that. I had another cosplay. I was supposed to cosplay with my sister. Shout out to my sister Gabby. She was a trooper because at the time I convinced her to do the cosplay together. He's gonna do another anime from Dragon Ball Z, Android 17, 18. She actually did Android 18 still. I tried on my Android 17 costume. I did not not like it at all, man. I got stories for days. It was just not it. So I was desperate. I had an old cosplay from a previous from Connecticut, from Terrific Con for Connecticut, and that was the Super Mario Brothers 3. So I said I had nothing else to lose. Like the comic, and I'll see because I saw you the day before. I said I got Comic Cons literally in a few hours. So I put that on. Shout out to your daughter Shannon for telling me where to get the felt. I cut out my mustache for the felt, and at 1 o'clock I put the finishing touches on, and
I think it worked.
that worked out. And I actually got I got a good response. Yeah, it worked. I think it worked well.
It worked.
It was cool. Appreciate that, and that really means a lot. So I don't want to do that again next year. Next year, I know definitely by September 1st, I'm gonna have whatever cosplay I'm gonna do. It's gonna be bought and already set. So I'm just gonna play the waiting game.
That's a smart way to do it.
Absolutely, man. I tell you.
And if you like cosplay, man,
I
you
love
like
it.
watching that, New York Comic Con is the place to go, man, because
It's
there
so
is like
talented.
so the whole outer section of the Jav, that's like the main lobby, so to speak, is like where all the serious professional cosplayers go. And they just hang out there, do photo ops, take pictures, do their setups. And some of them are just so creative and so good.
So creative, so good. And anything that you could think of, whether you're a fan of Marvel, DC, Star Trek, Star Wars, all types of video games, all types of anime, you could be a fan of Tim Allen's Home Improvement.
And
You're gonna find
a guy cosplaying it.
You're
gonna find old TV shows, new TV shows, movies.
Yes.
Like,
Mixing
and
it
sometimes
up.
you're sitting there going, "What is that really like this guy, or is that really that guy?" And it's like, yep. And like people just try to be creative and like come up with something that nobody did, nobody's done. And
it's incredible, man. It really blows my mind.
It's pretty funny. Like everybody does. Like there's always like, stormtroopers and Jedi Knights and but if you can find something that's a little niche, and there's always superheroes, but if you find something that's and there's like a lot of like combinations, you'll find like people do like, like a Spider-Man Batman combo, or like an anime Superman combo or something like that. There's always this kind of creative things like that, and it's just so much fun to watch, especially because like people just like walking around Manhattan like that, and like nobody's even phased.
That's wild too. Yeah,
it's funny. We got in a lift because we go over to Koreatown for dinner every year. And so we get in the lift, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're the guy from Breaking Bad, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Eisenhower." I'm like, "No."
Heisenberg, cracking me up. That is too funny. I'm telling you, it is. I be scared. Not for me. If I go like all out, like full paint costume, I'd be nervous to do it, because once you do get out of the, I call it in the New York Comic Con section, people will be looking at you and whatnot. Like we was walking back to our car, and people were looking at, "Hey, Mario," all that stuff. But yeah, sometimes you get some cool attention, but sometimes people just be out. But regardless. You're there. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have a blast. You're gonna definitely, especially if you cosplay. I know people are a little bit nervous to cosplay, but it's so much fun. It's like to me, it's like a bug. Once you get into it, it's like there's no stopping.
It's really hard to like. I went 1 year, I didn't do anything. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah. Me too. No, wait, no. I think with other cons,
you've been. Yeah, I went 1 year to New York. Like I think it was like the year. It was the year after COVID. Because they canceled it, in 2020? They canceled it.
Yep.
And then 2021 was kind of a weird year because, you had to wear masks and everything. And and I think maybe that was the year I didn't do anything. And I was kind of like,
I think that was.
It's like this is like only half the experience, And so I always do something, even though I'm an old fart. I always like to do it. But there are a lot of old people who do stuff. So
you can be 2 years old to 98 years old. People are cosplaying. People are they're fully participating.
Yeah,
and people, it's so much. Oh man, it really is. It's once you step foot into that building, man.
And it's weird, and like you walk in, and there's people, especially in Artist Alley. Like you walk around a corner, and there's people. There's like there's always like the big guests and the big celebrities and stuff like that. But there are other celebrities that like are doing smaller things that are not there. So you'll just go to a table and there'll be like, like in the past couple of years, I saw like Daryl McDaniels, from Run DMC. He had like a comic book. So he was at a table just hanging out, talking to people. Ice-T and Coco. They were walking around downstairs. They were
two special guests.
Yeah, they were selling something. I don't know what they were doing. Last year, Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, she was just sitting at a table. Yeah. So it's just like you always just kind of like see somebody, and it's a lot of fun.
That happened to us this year, Mike. I give a shout out to the actor John Abrahams. Because towards the end of the towards the end of the Comic-Con, I was exhausted. I sat right by. I didn't even know who he was at the moment because I was so tired. He just came up, started talking to us and chatting with us, and I kept on looking at him. I said, he looks so familiar. When I finally got up and looked at his thing and finally did, the fan kid came out of me because he's like one of the lead stars of one of my favorite movies of my childhood, Scary Movie with the Wayne brothers. I said, that's you. So I had.
Yeah, he was in that. He was in Phantom Menace. He was in
that's what he was
Meet the Parents. He was in he was in a bunch of stuff.
A lot of big '90s movies so you'll see a lot of people. I never even seen but yeah. So I got he was so cool just to talk and stuff like that. He was just right there in the show floor. So it's so weird to see stuff like that. And like previous year, I seen Kel Mitchell from Kenan and Kel, all that. They were like there, and some of the Power Rangers were just right there. I even seen I might be aging, but no, actually no, that's all. But yeah, it's so cool. It's like you can't make that stuff up, and but they're able to talk and just chat with you and whatnot. I think it's remarkable, man.
Well, listen, we're getting near the end, so I think we'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
And I thank you for coming on. And I just really, really appreciate going with you every year.
Likewise, Mike.
It's just a ball. It's a lot of fun. So next year you're committed, Artist Alley, and you're coming to dinner with us. So
yeah, I am going to do that. Yes, I do like joining you guys for the Korean dinners too. That is part of the tradition. I know I haven't been doing that for the past, I think 2-3 years. I missed out on it, but it is fun. It's fun hanging out with you and your family as well. And I love the fact, you guys, that all year round, I'm in a New York Comic-Con group chat with Mike and his family as well. So I feel honored just to be in that. We update each other when the tickets go on, when the day the ticket goes on. We're looking out for each other. We're giving up to date, updates with each other. When the Funkles or other reservations pops up, we're just chatting. So you guys, you and your family definitely make the experience so much fun. And that's another thing too. New York Comic Con is a chance to really hang out with your family and your friends. It
really is.
It's a chance to relax, be yourself, nerd out, and just enjoy each other.
Absolutely. So awesome. Thank you for coming on and talking about this, Justin. I really appreciate it. Justin and I we were gonna do it tonight, but we're running long, so we're gonna do another one maybe next week, or we're gonna talk about the Gilded Age because I love that show. And it's been renewed. It's been renewed for a 4th season. So
yes, I heard it's coming out sooner than we think, Mike.
Hopefully, because if it's on schedule, it would be like early 2027, and I don't want to wait that long.
No, I do not want to wait that long either. I have questions, and I know I'm excited to pick your brain about this show.
We definitely will. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. Check out our store, and we will catch you guys next time.
I'll see you guys.